Hello and welcome to the new and improved tutorial on creating a web fishing custom map. So this sort of video is going to go through the basics of being able to create a decompiled version of the game so that you can open it in Godot. We're going to go through creating your own custom map file, being able to edit parts of the map, and then being able to package that out as its own standalone little mod thing that you'll be able to include with some dependencies, of course, and basically allow you to be able to play your custom map in web fishing. The things that this video aren't going to cover, but I am going to cover in the next video or two, is this one's mainly just going to be about getting the mod created and set up. The next video is going to be about actually editing the map and bringing in custom assets from something like Blender. So if you're interested in being able to sort of edit the different parts of the map by, you know, adding custom assets and things like that, keep an eye out for that video. But for this video, we're just going to go through the basics so that you can get started. So we're going to need a few things. I'm going to include links in the description for all of this stuff. And you know, if this video helps you, please feel free to give it a like. Leave a comment below if you're having any issues. I try to respond to comments. Otherwise, please go to the modding Discord, which is also going to be linked in the description. There is plenty of people there who might be able to help you if you're having trouble. So the modding Discord will drop a comment. Modding Discord will probably get you faster help. But yeah, if you're still having trouble, feel free to reach out. So, first thing we're going to need is GDS or GDRE tools. This is basically how we're going to get our own version of the project. So what we need to do is go to the Releases tab, and we're going to just download the latest. I use the latest stable release. You can use the later versions if you want, but I'm going to use the latest stable release of 0.7.3 as of the time of this recording. So we're going to download the Windows version. While we're here, we're also going to download GodotSteam. This is the editor that's going to let us open the project. So I'm going to go to the Releases tab, and the version that we're looking for, again at the time of this recording, is 3.5.3, Steamworks 1.6, GodotSteam 3.26. You'll know it's the right one because the assets should have 7 assets, and you'll find the Win64 version of this as a download. So make sure you download that as well. Once you've got those downloaded, we're going to just extract those into their own folder. So I've done this ahead of time by creating a web fishing modding folder in my C drive that I can access. I've also created a folder on my desktop that I've just called web fishing modding, and this is where we're going to actually put our projects. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open GDRE tools. So open your GDRE folder or the GDS decomp zip that you downloaded. Once you've extracted it, open up GDRE tools, and what we need to do here is we need to, in the RE tools section, we need to recover a project. So to do that, we're going to go to our game install location. So for me, it's going to be in my program files, Steam apps, common web fishing. I'm going to take our webfishing.exe and just drag it onto here. That's going to open up the PCK Explorer, and it's going to let us extract the project. So for this, what I'm going to do is set the destination folder to our folder that I put on the desktop. So I'm just going to go to my desktop folder for a second, and then go to my web fishing modding folder and select current folder. Actually, before I do that, I'll make a new folder, and I'll call this decomp project, just so I can have it in its own separate little folder. So desktop web fishing modding decomp project, make sure it's set to full recovery, and we'll hit extract. So that should extract all of the files that we're going to need. Once you've done that, you can close, once this process is done, you'll be able to close GDRE tools, and we can open the Steam Godot editor. So to get ready for that, let me just go back to my modding folder and Godot editor, and this is our GodotSteam. This should almost be done. Perfect. Don't worry about this recovery update. It should have just worked. We're going to close this. We're going to open GodotSteam editor, Windows 64. Okay, so when you open the editor, you should see something that looks like this. What we need to do is go scan, and we need to go to where we decompiled the project. So for me, it's again on my desktop, Webfishing modding, decomp project, select this folder, and you'll see here it's got a little icon and Webfishing _2 new version. I'm going to double click on that, and that'll open Godot. Now, this will take a while the first time you open it for it to discover all the assets. So we're just going to give it a chance to do that quickly. I'm going to skip ahead. Okay, now that we have all of our assets and stuff loaded, there's a few things we're going to want to do. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set up our folders so that we can create our mod. So we're going to right click on this res folder, and we're going to go to new folder, and we're just going to call this mods. Inside the mods folder, we're going to create a new folder, and this is where things are going to get a little interesting. You're going to have to remember this because this is going to be consistent throughout the rest of the tutorial. You're going to want to name this author.modName. So for instance, if your username is, you know, something like Squareface23, then you want that to be your author name, and then full stop, and then whatever you want the mod to be called. So for me, it's going to be Hagen dot, I'm just going to call this my custom map. We're just going to go okay. And so that'll make a new folder in the mods folder called Hagen.mycustommap. And we're going to make a new folder inside here called map. So we're going to store our map file. And then in here, we're going to make one more folder. We're going to call this zones. Okay, so now we've got these set up. What we're going to do next is we're going to create a copy of the current map. So we're going to go to the map, so the scenes folder. So resources, the little res, scenes, map, and then down here we're going to go to main_map.tscn. You'll see here, this is the map of the game. So I would take a second to kind of just like move around, explore. To move around, hold right click to move the camera, WAS and D to move around. While holding right click, if you scroll up, you'll move faster, and if you scroll down, you'll move slower. Okay, so you can do that to kind of explore the island, see how the game is set up. So like for instance over here, this is the tutorial zone. This is the inside of a little shop. This is like a little debug area in case you get stuck. You can even fly around and see the islands. The islands are somewhere around there. But this is it. This is the main sort of map. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a copy of this. We're going to go to scene, save scene as, and we're going to go to our folder. So we're going to click this little up arrow till we get to the top of this. We're going to go mods, our mod folder, map. And in here, we're going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this my custom map. Hit save. You'll see here, my custom map is now here, which means that we've successfully loaded into the copy. And if we go to our mods folder, you'll see that in our map folder, we have this my custom map.tsc here. Now, what we need to do is we need to create a script for this. So we need to right click on our main_map section up here, and we're going to attach a script. We'll leave the name as is, but for the inherits, we need it to inherit from the original map file. So what we need to do is we just need to go to the folder, go back to the top here. We're gonna go scenes, we're gonna go map, and then we're gonna go main_map.gd. Okay, so we want to click this one, and what that'll do is that'll choose that as our inheritor. Okay. And then we're just going to click create. And that'll just create this sort of empty script that we're not really going to do anything with. This just makes sure that we have, you know, the script for the map set up. Because there's things that the main map kind of does that we're going to need. So we can go back to the 3D view and take a look at our map again. Now, again, in this video, we're not going to go through editing the map itself. We're just going to go through editing, sort of setting this up. But we will make minor adjustments to the map so that we know that it's actually our map that we're loading into. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to our main zone here. and we're going to click on this little sort of clapperboard to edit it and make our own version. So we're going to open this in the editor. Now, you don't want to edit the original version of the map or the original version of this zone. You always want to make sure that you save scene as, and this goes for any of the zones that you want to make or edit. So we're going to go to mods, my custom map, and this is where our zones folder comes in handy. And we're going to leave this being called main_zone because we're wanting to create a duplicate of it. So we're going to hit save. I'm also going to come up here to where it says lake_zone, and we're going to rename this as well. So we're going to rename that to main_zone. Save it again. And now what we can do is in this main zone that we have, which is our custom zone, you can rename this as well. The file name doesn't matter. It's just this section up here that does matter. So you can rename this zone if you choose. For instance, we can rename it to like my custom_zone, right? And so now here we have my custom_zone. Might make it a bit easier so you don't get confused. And then what we're going to do is just to make sure that we know that this is our world that we're playing in. I'm just going to delete these benches. And what we'll do is we'll knock the vending machine over. So we'll just rotate the vending machine, sink it into the ground a bit. So, you know, this place has been a bit vandalized. It's been a bit trashed. And so we'll just leave it like that. And we'll save again. So Control S to save. And so we'll know that this is our world because these benches will be missing and the vending machine will be knocked over. And that's how we're going to be able to tell that our mod worked. So now that we've saved that, we need to go back to our map, our custom map. We need to delete this main zone and replace it with our custom one. So we're going to highlight that, hit delete. And then we're going to drag in my custom zone into the zones section. And you'll see here, it's now back. But if we zoom in, you'll see that it is our version because the benches are gone and the vending machine is knocked over. So this is technically our version of it, which is good. We're going to save this, save our custom map. And there's one more important thing that we need to do before we can actually test that this works. So in our sort of in our mod folder, just the top line here, we're going to right click and create a new script. And we're going to call this script main. So main.gd. This script will basically let Lua be able to load this project properly, this map properly. So what we're going to do is I've included a link to a Pastebin, which is going to basically contain the code that you need for your main GD, as well as something we'll use later, which is a manifest. So we just need to copy this top section here. So don't include the part with the hash, just include the stuff inside it. So we're going to copy that. We're going to open up our main.gd script. We're just going to highlight everything and then paste in the code. Now, you'll want to change this because this is where the mod name is important. The author name and the mod name is important. So for the ID, it's going to be the exact same as the folder. So Hagen.myCustomMap. Lua, we need Lua to be accessible, so just leave that as is, because that's the dependency for this mod. So your map will not work if you don't have Lua. We'll go through Lua's stuff in a second. The last thing is this last line here, Lua.addMap. So we notice that our map has an ID, which is at the top here. It also has a my map ID. This just needs to be something unique. This basically is something that we don't want, you know, to clash with other people. Because Lua, if you're loading a bunch of custom maps and two of these are the same, it can be a bit of a problem. So just make it something unique. I tend to just do like my name and then 01 or like, you know, map. Or if it's like a special map from a video game, like a banjo map, I might do like, you know, banjo map, something like that. Just make sure it's, you know, something unique that's not going to clash with anything else. Then the next thing we need to do is edit this path here to make sure that it goes to your actual map. So you can see here, our mods folder we don't have a scenes folder, we just have a map folder. So I'm going to get rid of scenes and just have map / and then for map name, it's going to be my custom map. And then this is just the description that comes up in the game when you're selecting the map on the dropdown. So I'm just going to call this Broken World. Okay, and now that we've done that, we want to be able to test our map to make sure that it actually works. So to do that, we're going to need Lua. So if we go to the description, look at the Lua link, we're going to need to download the code first as a zip. So make sure you do that. Open up the zip file, and inside here, we just need to navigate to Project, Mods, and we want this folder. So in your Godot project, we're going to right click on our mods folder, go open in file manager, and you'll see here our mods folder is just here. So we're going to drag this 7-zip into this folder here. So again, make sure that it's project, mods, and then this one. Drag that in. I know it's the right one because it'll look like this on the inside. And then back in our Godot editor, what we need to do now is wait for it to discover those assets. You'll see them pop up here. We just need to go to project settings, auto load, and this is going to let us load our scripts. So we're going to load the Lua script. So go to mods, Lua, main.gd. We call this the mod name, author name, and the mod name. No full stops for this one. And then likewise, we do the same for our mod. So this is why we created that main GD script. And again, author name, mod name. Hit close. And then we're going to click on this play button. So once Webfishing loads, what you want to do is when you hit play, make sure that your type, your lobby type, is set to offline/solo, or you might get some errors. But if you click on the map, you'll see you have original map, a Lua example map, but you'll also have your custom map. So ours is Broken World. So again, we're going to click on start game and see if this is actually our custom world. And remember, we'll know because if we turn around, hey, we don't have the benches. The benches are gone. And yep, our vending machine is indeed knocked over. So that means our custom map works, which is fantastic. So now that we know that our map loads successfully, let's go through the process of actually exporting it into its own mod. So the first thing we're going to do is we don't need this version of Godot anymore. So we'll just make sure that everything's saved. And what we're going to do is right click down here and click on Godot engine to launch a new version of Godot, like a new instance. We're going to click on new project and we're going to make a brand new project. Now the folder for this is going to be next to our current one, just for simplicity's sake. You could put this anywhere, but I'm just going to put this next to my decomp project. So my Webfishing modding folder, I'm going to create a new folder called my mod project. The name for this doesn't matter, it's not important. We're going to select the current folder, and we're going to make sure that everything else is the same. Create and edit. Now, inside here, this is where we need to include our mod folder. But we only want our mod. We don't want anything else from the original game or the decompiled project. You only want your mod and your mod's assets. So we're going to right click and open File Manager on the empty project. We're going to go back to our decomp project and we're going to right click on the same folder, open in File Manager. We can see the two side by side. And what we want to do is we want to create a mods folder here. So new folder, mods. And in this mods folder, we just want to copy our mod, only our mod, across to this new folder. Okay. So now we go back to our empty Godot project. And we give it a sec to discover our files if it hasn't already. You can see here. Now don't open anything. Don't open any of these files because they have dependencies that are broken. And it could break the files themselves. So don't try and open any of the assets or any of the maps or anything like that. We only need this project to do the export process. So to do that, we're going to go to Project, Export. Now, you won't have anything here yet, but if you go to Add, Windows Desktop, you should have the ability to add this. If not, if you have a giant red block of text here, it'll have instructions on how to create this. Just follow the instructions. again, if you're having issues with this, check out the modding Discord. There will be people who can run you through it pretty easily. But it should be a very simple step-by-step process on like, you just follow those instructions and then you come back here, add Windows Desktop, and this should pop up. What we want to do is we want to make sure that runnable is unselected. So don't make sure that that's off. Go to resources. And where it says export all resources in the project, I'm just going to go to export selected resources and tick the mods folder. The reason I do this is so it doesn't like include these other ones. And this always seems to work for me. Okay, once we've done that, we want to click on export pck/zip. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to our Webfishing modding folder. And we're going to call this, again, our author name, .modname.pck. Make sure export with debug is unticked as well. But this is going to be hagen.mycustommap.pck. We're going to hit save. And now if we go to our Webfishing modding folder, up one, you'll see here we have this PCK file. Now, if you don't see file extensions, go to View, Show, File Name Extensions, and that's going to be important for this next part as well. Because what we want to do is we want to right-click, create a new text document, and we're going to highlight all of it and call it manifest.json. Hit yes, and we're going to open this in a text editor. Now, I use Visual Studio Code, but you can do this in like Notepad, Notepad++, whatever. But I use Visual Studio Code because it's neater. We're going to go back to our Pastebin, and we're going to copy the manifest.json contents here. I'm going to copy this. Again, don't copy the hashtag parts, just copy the others. Hash parts. We're going to paste that in. We're going to save this, and we're going to rename these sections. So, again, the ID is authorname.map.mod. So we're going to go hagen.mycustommap. This has to match the folder inside your mod folder, like your mod folder name. The pack path, this is where our PCK file is, or what it's called. So again, it's the full name. So we're just going to essentially just use that. So hagen.mycustommap.pck. Our dependencies, we need Lua. So we're just going to include, again, authorname.modname. So for this, it's Lua. Now, the metadata is the stuff that just comes up for like mod editors and stuff, like mod managers. So we're just going to call this Hagen's custom mod author me version. This will be version 1.0. And then the description, I'm just going to call this a broken version of the original map. Okay, so that's all done. What is the next step? Well, the next step is we go back to the Lua GitHub, and this time we go to the releases section and we download this version of the zip, which has the Lua mod. And we also download GDWeave. This is the mod loader. So we go to the releases tab, we download the latest zip for GDWeave, and we include that into where our game is installed. So if we go to, I'm going to go to where my game is installed. Steam apps, common, Webfishing. You'll see here, I've already got GDWeave copied across. So I've got a folder here with the DLL file. Inside GDWeave, we have a mods folder. And this is where all your mods are going to go. Now, obviously, I've already got some. You probably won't have any. You'll just have the README file. But what you want to do is you want to extract Lua and you want to copy your mod across to here. Now, you'll notice that my Lua has the authorname.modname, and my other mod will as well. So, again, when you're copying these across, make sure that you have them in a folder that is the authorname.modname. And so I'm going to right-click, create a new folder, hagen.mycustommap. And inside here is where we're going to copy across our PCK file and our manifest.json file. So we're going to copy those across. So to do that, hold Control, left-click, drag, or just copy like Control-C, Control-V. And you'll have your mod in the mods folder, as well as the Lua mod in the Lua section. Inside GDWeave's mod folder, And in order to do, in order to make sure that this is all working, we're just going to launch Webfishing. Now this time you can make it public if you want, and we're just going to hit play, and we're going to check to see our map list has our broken world map, and we can start a new public game. Wait for it to load, and ta-da! We have the missing benches, and we have the tipped over vending machine here. So you can see here, this is our custom map that we have created and exported. So that is how you create a custom mod, custom map mod for Webfishing. Like I said, this video was just going to go over this process. Really simple, straightforward process. The next video, keep an eye out for, it is going to cover things like how to import custom assets, how to redefine the zones, like where the water is and where you can fish and things like that. And we'll also go through how to set up some of the other zones to be custom, things like the aquarium and the shops and things like that. So keep an eye out for that next video. It should be coming out pretty soon. If you want to be notified, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell. And if this video helped you, give it a like. Again, if you have any problems, any issues with any of this stuff, please go to the modding Discord linked in the description. There'll also be a, a sort of place where you can comment below, and I'll try and help you as best I can. But chances are your best bet is the modding Discord. But I hope this helped, and I will see you in the next video.